should start now. Okay.
Yeah, we
So
can
first
start
of
now.
yeah, first of all, welcome. And I'm very excited for this episode. From last 1 week, we are having this conversation. And I just wanted to know about your journey as a creator and whatever challenges or I can say whatever growth you are seeing, whatever challenges you are facing, you have faced when you first launched your job board and everything. So I'm very curious. But before starting, I would like to give you a heads up about why we created this podcast. So, creator job board spotlight where we had in research, okay, and we came out to like there are a lot of creator around the globe who don't know about the tools they can use and they can for growing their audience, their community, and having more and more revenues, having new revenue streams and everything. They can connect their audience on their own job portal and have their own ecosystem. So that's why we came up with this podcast where we share stories like you, and we just want them to know, and we want to the world to know your story and get inspired from your story. So let's start. So I have a series of questions with me that I would like to ask you. So can we start? Are we ready?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay, my first question is I would love to know a bit about your background. Like, if you can share your experience that first, draw you to remote work, like what were the thinking, why you wanted to create inclusively remote. So, if you could give a bit of, heads up about it.
Yeah, good. Thank you so much for this platform. Really doing an amazing job. My name is Maryesther, and I'm the founder of Inclusive Remote. So I would say my background started from being a law student and looking for remote internship. So I got to know about remote work in 2020 when the pandemic came and we could not work on site. And for someone like me, I'm very big on learning, also very big on working. So I went to advance my learning and just gather more of job market experience. It was very difficult for me to get a remote job. It took me about 28 months to finally land my first yes. So I would say that really led me to create Inclusive Remote because I was like, I don't want anyone to be like me. I had to go through several rejections and I had to go through a lot of sleepless nights, lots of depression to finally get a job. So that was what made Inclusive Remote. It was that answer to that gap. And I'll say that my experience so far has been a mix of challenging and also a mix of, very, very excited because it's a new journey for me. I was a student because I just recently graduated from school in August. So I was building while being a student, and it was very difficult because I was thinking about academics, being a law student, there's lots of cases. I'm also trying to build a community and impact lives.
Of course, so this is your inspiration. I can totally understand because when pandemic hit, we also faced a lot of troubles and finding a good opportunity, especially remote, was very difficult. So
Yes.
I can understand the challenges you have faced. So, from having the vision that you are gonna bring inclusively remote to life, then creating it. So what were the early steps you were following? Were there any supporters? You were having your own research or something?
Yes. Okay. This is a very good one. So I would say my vision for Inclusive Remote really was the fact that I saw how Africans and other underrepresented regions struggle to get these opportunities because it wasn't about lack of skill, it was about lack of visibility, having the right access to the right remote opportunities. So I was like, Inclusive Remote is the answer to this gap. We need to create something that is accessible and inclusive for everyone everywhere. And I'll say I first started from a Substack. So after I got, laid off for my first remote job, I said, okay, I need to start something. So I started a newsletter on Substack where I just said inclusive remote newsletter. So every Monday, I would gather resources of remote opportunities hiring worldwide, and I would label it in senior, mid-level, entry, internship, volunteer, and then give like a basically small, career tip and message. And I would just send out to audiences. And I would say my first supporters were my readers, 100 readers, because it gave me the encouragement that I wasn't just doing something silly. I was actually impacting life. And that was what made me to, okay, Maryesther, this is no more like a child's game. You're actually doing something bigger than yourself. So I had to take this further. And that was, I think, after 2023 January, I launched like the full job board.
Okay, and your name reflect your the goal you want, the inclusively remote. So that's like very great to have this name. Like, when you come up with the idea of the name, like, were there any moment you were like, yeah, this is the name I'm going with? So, like, I just want to know the ideas or the story behind this name, because I really like the name of your company.
Yeah. Okay. So inclusively remote is basically inclusive opportunities for everyone, everywhere, regardless of your class, where you studied, what niche you're into. So it came from a friend of mine. I remember talking to a friend who really shared about how she was depressed. She really struggled getting a remote job. Like she was so talented. She was always calling me every day to cry about rejection. And she was like, there's no place for me, Maryesther. I've tried everywhere. I feel like there's no place for me. And because she was a content marketer, and most job boards really have more of tech opportunities than non-tech opportunities. So I said, okay, I need to create something. So I think Inclusion Mode was for everyone. Everyone has a story. And that's why when we really launched, people could really relate to it. We're like, oh, finally, there's something for me. There's a space for me here. So it wasn't just about my own story, about people's stories, people's rejections. It was, I would say, a savior for people. People could relate to the fact that this job board was created not just for Maryesther, not just for someone in Kenya, but for someone in India, for someone there who had shared similar experience of getting rejection, or having nowhere to get all these opportunities from. And yeah.
The idea is great. So, when you started working on it, when you started working your job board, were there any milestone moment that you feel, okay, I'm going on the right path? This is what I wanted.
Yeah.
So, is there any particular moment you wanted to share with us?
There are a lot. There are a lot. I think I would say my first milestone was November 2022. I can never forget that month. Because that month, personally, for me, was not a good month for me, because I had lots of, personal things I was going through. But on the outlook of it, something really happened that month. On LinkedIn, it was in the afternoon, 3 p.m. on LinkedIn, I got a message from someone. And she was like, hi, Mary, my name is so anonymous. I'm from Botswana. Yeah. I just want to say thank you for Inclusive Remote. I got my first remote job, paying me about 3,600 per month. I got laid off, and this job has really helped my family. I was like, oh my God. I think I screamed that day, and I felt a tear come out from my eyes, because I was like, Mary, this is what I have wanted for myself, and I've wanted for other people. So this was bigger than me. I was like, I need to make this more. I need to really impact life. I need to go from beyond a newsletter to actually something public that people can always come in, search online, and see this. So that was my first milestone. And then my second milestone was in March 2024, because that was the month we actually brought about like a revenue system for Inclusive Remotes. We had like a subscription-based pricing for our job seekers. So before we were only operating on the fact that employers would pay to post jobs, but it wasn't really that, generating revenue, because I think the job market really had it really suffered some downside. So employers were no longer, going to job boards advertise. They're just doing that by their own or posting on LinkedIn. So we needed to, gather revenue to keep the job board moving. And I remember saying, okay, I want to start a subscription-based pricing for our job seekers, but make it backed with value, give them resources. And my friends and my family were like, oh, this won't be a good idea. People, the economy is tough. People can't pay to view job. But I would say that the hour that subscription base went on was live, I had 2 subscribers. And I remember their name, Akuomi, Damilola from UK, and I think Minitim from Singapore. They were my first subscribers. And I was like, wow, it was really encouraging. Yeah, it was really encouraging for me. And then
I can only understand your feeling.
That same week, we had our first 90, I think it was 90 paid subscribers. So I would say these milestones, really, once that really kept me moving, that I'm actually doing something really amazing, really impacting lives and, really impacting the globe, like impacting the world so far. I feel like now, like the fourth crop of girls that I've always wanted to be when I was young.
Yeah. So I'm a bit curious about like every founder face challenges, right? When they start their journey as a founder and building a whole community around us. So would you like to name some of the challenges like you were facing or this like something that you have overcome and that helped you save your journey? So
Yeah.
if you want to share something.
Yeah, sure. I think I've had like a lot of challenge, but I mentioned like the top three. So the first one was the ecosystem and building as an African. There's this trust that you need to build because people are like, oh, what if this is fraud? What if this is not real? So I have to continuously show up and talk about that this is real. This is not, a facade. This is something real. This is something you can trust in us. And I'll say finances as well. So like I said, I'm still a student, recently just graduated. So my parents are the kind of, okay, we sent you to school not to work. We sent you to school to study. You need something, let us know. So when I first brought up the idea of inclusive remote to my parents, because I needed funding, I think my dad didn't really, keen to the idea until I told him that I needed a part of my inheritance. And he was like, so that day he actually laughed. I was like, okay, this child is actually serious about this. Let me just, help and fund her. So I think they gave me my first funding. Then my sister helped me to register my business in the US. So funding has been like a really big issue. So especially where in a country where, they're not really keen on young builders. So you still have to build global, not for where you are from. Then second one was me being hyper independent. So I'm the kind of person that I love to do things on my own. So it's really hard to say. I think then it was hard for me to ask for help and, ask people, like, I need help. So what I learned this year was that, it's not about doing a good job. It's about doing the right things, doing a better job with the right people. So I built my team. I remember getting a VA, getting a developer, getting a community manager. And it has been so amazing because I've finally seen people that share the same vision with me. And it was, okay, whereas I need to let yourself be helped. Helped and everything. I think the third one I would say was scaling. So scaling is not an easy job. I think every founder has this issue. We have to scale, we have to work because working is when you're building something, it's not about just building. It's your babies. Like you're nurturing something, you're watching it grow. So you're like a mother, you have to sacrifice your all for that thing to grow. So it's really, really tough sacrificing everything. I've said I've sacrificed like my sleep, my sleep, I open every day. So by 7 a.m. I'm up working, doing community building, reaching out to subscribers. I reach out to our subscribers. I think I reach out to 100 subscribers daily, asking them how the job board has been for them, if they have any jobs that they want us to be posting. So being a founder has been kind of very tiresome, but I always remind myself this is why I started, and I like it. It's very fun, but I like bringing this stress. So scaling has been a really big issue, but I would say we're working on it.
I can totally understand being a founder brings a lot of opportunity and responsibility as well on you. So while we are on the scaling topic, so I would really love to know if you're comfortable sharing how does this job board make money right now and what does the revenue model look like? If you want to explain it.
Yes. So we think we just monetized this year. We monetized March 2024. And our subscription is like in three parts. The first one is we do a advertisement for companies that want to list their jobs on the website. So we ask them to pay to list their jobs, and then from this that also help them in recruitment, sourcing, and then the first stage of recruitment, helping them to interview candidates, helping them to create that job JD. Then the second revenue model we said was the job seekers. So giving like a premium listing where job seekers could pay to access premium resources like viewing all jobs, getting hidden created opportunities sent to their email every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, Also getting access to resume templates, interview guides, salary handbook templates. And I'll say the third revenue model was also selling digital products and offering career coaching. So we have digital product like more of interview prep. So if they want like a personalized code meal template, we help them to create this. So it's on pre-order. So they have to like go to Maryesther, go to seller, and then they just order it and then we create it for them. So this revenue has been really sustainable for us. We have not grown. Thing is, having a job, but it's really hard to monetize. I feel like, except by the bigger job, but it's so hard to monetize. So I would say when I first got our 1,000 revenue in a month, I was like, wow, I was really, really so happy. But then it's downsized again. So sometimes it goes up, sometimes it downsized. So it's all just about showing up and just building. Also, that has been our model revenue so far.
Yeah. Sometimes depends on the algorithm as well. Monetization, SEO are the bigger part of job board. I totally understand. So, do you get like have you have any collaboration or partnership? So right now, or like in pipeline or something, you were working on it. So you want more and more collaboration or partnership.
Yeah, so I'm actually looking for next year, looking to partner with a lot of remote companies that offer remote tools and collaboration tools to offer to our users. So I'll say what we worked this year, we had a chance to collaborate with a career coaching program, and then recently joined Job Co-Pilot to offer AI job matching tool to our users. So I think that has been very good. But I think next year, looking to expand. And my goal for next year is learning and getting. So we are teaching remote workers to get this job, because I've noticed that it's not all about, they have the jobs. Most times they don't know how to go about applying for these jobs. So next year, I really want to take them one by one, hold their hands to actually teach them how to apply for this job, offer them resources and tools that will help them to apply for this job and then finally land these opportunities.
Yeah, I'm really very impressed from being this younger and then having this big kind of idea, then having the collaboration. I'm really impressed. So
Thank you.
as yeah, so as I said earlier as well, that we started this podcast because we wanted more and more creators to understand what kind of tools they can use. So let's say if I'm a creator and I want to launch my job board, so what are the approaches you would suggest to me that these are the kind of things you should do and these are the things you shouldn't do? So some do's and don'ts you wanna share tips.
So I would say the first advice I'll give you is know your why. Why do you want to start a job board? That's the why. Okay, why do you want to start a job board? Because people always start, I just want to do it. But why do you want to do this? Then the second thing I would say is, what is the problem that you're addressing? So, okay, I want to start a job board. So what is the gap you're trying to address? So that's secondly. Then thirdly, start with a niche. So, okay, you have seen this gap. You have addressed this gap. So what niche are you trying to, solve? Are you providing opportunities for non-tech, for tech, for Africans, for global job seekers? What is your niche? And I would say the second thing is tell that niche, tie that gap, tie your why to a storytelling, like tell a story and make it draw from your own personal experience, because this is what builds trust with your audience. I remember talking about how I got 7 rejections, remote opportunities. And that single post newsletter actually brought about 120 subscribers, new subscribers. And it was because we were like, this is something I go through. Thank you for sharing your journey. It means that I'm not the only one going through the same thing. So try to share your personal experience with people, because that's what builds trust with your audience. Then now you have built trust. You need to group it in 2 ways, because now job board is for employers and also for job seekers. So for employers, they want to know that, okay, quality, relevant candidates are viewing the opportunities on your job board. So you need to give them the assurance that you are providing quality candidates, and quality candidates are viewing jobs on your platform. Then for job seekers, they want to know that the job board is catering for their needs. So you need to ensure that you create a user-friendly platform. So I would say that build something that everyone can use, not just people in tech, but everyone can navigate, can go through. Because most job boards, you see, it's very hard for people in non-tech to, screen through. So you need to make sure that your platform is user-friendly for everyone, no matter if they don't have the mental capacity, or they don't have the knowledge of being a tech, or they're not really tech savvy, but they can also navigate your platform. Then also try to build value. So value is really important. I help you that, value is very, very important. Don't just start by, oh, I want to make my job board, people to pay. Let people see why they need to pay, because I view that everyone's, money is something valuable to them because it's their time. So let them feel like what they're paying for is an investment of value back to them. So build a community with your audience. And being a community, really, it's start by you personally reaching out to them, because I know that I said it before, but I always reach out to our subscribers 100 daily, asking them how the job board has been for them, if you have any questions, have any inquiries. And most times they say, oh no, almost I'm going to be like, okay, I need to see more customer support jobs. So this really helps us to know what our users want. It also helps us to know what we need to create to make them happy, to make them actually land this job and see the value in our platform.
That's a great tip. And I would also love to know about some technical terms. Like you mentioned, monetization is very important for any job board, right? Other than monetization, what are the tech terms I think the creators should know when they are launching their job?
Yeah, because so I would say that after monetization, because it's going to be really hard to monetize, I would say the second thing is actually getting companies to actually advertise with you, because you have to really build a lot. Then I think the third thing I would say is scaling. So most times, especially if you're non-tech, hey, like me, I'm not like a tech person. So building my job, but I have to learn how to actually use some code words to actually build a WordPress. And I would say like I had to hire like a team, like a developer to help me with some coding. So I would say that you still need to upskill as a founder. So not just, give it to someone to help you do it, but also try to learn how your job board works. But at the end of the day, that's your baby. You need to know how it works. You need to, even if you're in the non-tech side, try to learn more about coding. They also try to learn more about community management. Because I tell people that every founder has to tell their story. Sure, you can hire someone to tell your story, but your story is best told by the person creating it. So learn how to tell your story, how to communicate, learn content creation. This might sound very funny because people are like, oh, taught me so far. I'm on TikTok, I'm talking, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm writing a post, I'm always showing up. So show up and build in public. Well, that's another thing, build in public, because for us that are introverts. So for introverts, founders like us that, we don't like to show up, it's really important to show up. Let people see your face. Let them know that this is person that is creating this.
Yeah. Okay. So being a founder in your 20s, like this is a big thing, and can be overwhelming sometimes, right? So how do you balance that personal and professional life? So how do you, like, any tips you want to say, or that, yeah, this is something you can do to pull yourself, to remind yourself that this is your journey and this is what you are doing and this is what you want to do. Yeah.
Okay, so I would say that in your 20s, when you're building, you need to prioritize yourself, because it's easy to get lost in the fact that you're building. Because sometimes your baby, what you're building, can overshadow all your life. I remember when I started building, I hardly had time for myself or my family or my friends. So I lost relationships and was seen as, Mercy, always working. So I was seen as someone that was very selfish. So, but I'll say that last year, I learned the importance of, I would say, doing in public and also having a work-life balance. Because I was in school, that was my final year. I still had to do well in school so that I can graduate. So I had to prioritize work-life balance. And then asking for help, like I mentioned, I had to really ask for help. Because when you are building, as in your 20s, funding is from people around, from your family. You need to know how to ask for help, know how to delegate tasks, also know how to rest. So knowing how to rest is really important. This is something that I'm still struggling with. Let me not lie. I'm still struggling with learning how to rest, because most times I feel like I need to do things now. But the thing is that things can wait, right? It can wait. Nothing has to be perfect immediately. So try to prioritize yourself, because your health is very important. So prioritize yourself, delegate tasks, have time for family, have time for work, have time for networking with people, have time for your audience. Then secondly, I would say celebrate yourself. Celebrating yourself is really important because most times we get lost in the fact that we are building and, sometimes we might not see any, milestones or wins, but let us remind ourselves why we started in the first place. And that reason enough is very good to tell yourself you're doing a great job. So every month, try to take yourself out, buy yourself a gift that I'm doing something good, because that will also help you to build your confidence and your determination for the next quarter.
Okay. Of course, taking a pause and looking back, like whatever your journey has been, is very important to understand where have you come and what you want to do next is very important. And work-life balance is something you should work on because other than work, there is a family waiting for you. So, I can, I have another question as well.
Yes.
Being a remote work or like being into something remote work or inclusively remote, so you have access of the whole globe, right? So you can connect with the person with different cultures and different country. So have you like do you want to share something that you find incredible culture in terms of culture, in terms of language? That I'm other than business, I'm making personal connection. I'm having more and more knowledge about the world, a community around the world, and the cultures around the world. So if you want to share something.
Okay, very true. The most work has really shown me about how amazing the world is in terms of different people, different culture, different perspective. So I remember when I started talking to one-on-one with our subscribers, and I talked to someone from Portugal. She just recently got into remote work, and the reason why she wanted the remote work because of she wanted to be closer to her fiance. So stories like this was really so, it was really, I'll say it was like a connection. So I really love hearing stories like this and then talking to more people. And I also noticed that, people need someone to talk to. I think I learned also about that. So you just being that listening ear is really important. And then I also say that what I've also learned, what one more has taught of communication is emotional intelligence and also trying to learn from people. So not all about just, like I said, all about learning from their culture. So most times, taking part of that people have holidays, people have the way that, they communicate. So learning that has been really important. And also creating our community, because we had a community where we integrated all our users. So it was really good because all of them could interact with themselves. The people from Kenya, people from Singapore, people from Russia, people from United States, all in one platform. And it was I think we used Slack. So we used Slack and then we also had to move to WhatsApp. So it got more like seamless communication. So I would say that all this has really important when building a community, learning more about them, also being very emotional and emotional intelligence about how they relate as well.
Yeah. So I think I would love to know about where is inclusively remote going now? Like, is there new features coming or something like where you are heading next?
Yes, thank you for that. So I'll say that we are trying to increase our subscription model to bring in more resources for our users. Like I mentioned before, we are trying to make it more of learning and getting. So next year team is you are learning, you are getting equipped, you're also learning these opportunities. So we're trying to even get more partnership with collaboration tools, like I mentioned, giving them discounts on how they can foster and build a great remote career. Also trying to be more of like a coaching platform where we're also helping to coach our users. But I mentioned before, it's not all about seeing the jobs. Job market is very competitive. I think this year has shown us that it is competitive. It's not about how good you are anymore. It's about being what the employer needs. So we are trying to teach and coach our users, not just people, but all over the world, like everyone that is interested to learn how to actually get this opportunity. So we're bringing in more, I would say, power tools to help them finally get that dream of a job.
Okay, that's great. Whatever you're doing, like especially with the remote work, inclusively remote, I think the journey you have and the way you are doing things and the balance you are making is really something very incredible. And I think the users, our viewers will, learn a lot from this. So, and especially, I would like to talk about my experience when I'm talking to. It's like I'm having a conversation with my friend. It was very great to talk to you,
Thank
and
you.
I felt I feel very good. So I just and we are wrapping this session. I would like to, and I would love to have one last question with you. Like, if you want to give one last suggestion and one last tips to the listener who are like viewing this show and understanding that they can launch their own job board. So if you want to give one last tip, I would love
Yeah.
to have.
Okay, so my advice I would give is that remote work isn't about flexibility. It's about breaking down barriers and ensuring inclusive opportunities to everyone, no matter where they are from. Creating a space, and I'll say that there's a space for you. And if you can't see it, create it. So create it. If you see that there is no opportunity for you, create that. That's what I did. I said that there was not a lot of worldwide opportunities. I had to create something that there were lots of worldwide opportunities. So I'll say create it and then believe in that thing. There'll be a time where you have to doubt yourself. So believe in why you started. And good luck.
Thanks. Yeah, you really have an incredible journey, and I'm really looking forward to have another conversation with you.
Yes.
Let's be in connection. Let's connect with each other more and more. I really loved talking to you. So
Same here.
yeah, for right now, I would love to say bye. Let's
Thank you.
we'll meet next time. And thank you so much for your time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a great day.
Same to you. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.